came in. So let's kind of take a look at it. So someone says, good morning. I met my husband with his house. I am not on the deed and he does not have a will. What will happen to the house if he dies? He has adult children. So here's the situation. If it is that your spouse has property, and it also depends on who is on the deed. If he alone is on the deed and he does not have a will, by law, upon death, then the spouse will get 50%, and the other 50% is shared between the children. Now, I don't know if prior to his death, he is now going to look to change his deed. Because let's say during his lifetime, he goes ahead, he changes the deed, and he added his children as joint tenants with the right of survivorship. So here it is, by operational law, the kids will get everything, you'll get nothing. But if the deed is such that he holds the property by himself and he dies and there's no will, then it gets shared between the spouse and the children, right? So and we cannot say prior to his death whether or not he will not change the deed. Yeah. And I think as spouses, this is something that I remember I met this very, very nice lady. I think her husband was a police officer with the New York, I think it's New York City. Anyway, the saddest thing happened in that he chose no survivor benefits because people really, nobody's planning for death, which can have devastating consequences. Where this was a woman who she never worked, and her husband was her sole means of support right throughout her life. And no one plans for death, so he did not choose the survivor benefits. And that income when he was alive, concerning the retirement, that just went. Yeah. And she was able to benefit from the Social Security. But had he chosen that survivorship benefits, it would not have been a struggle like how she suffered upon his demise. And this is where I'm going to encourage you. If it is you have a spouse, yeah, because some people are fortunate enough to really get spouses who, in fact, are invested in the human element of them, as opposed to the material things in life, where you come home, you're not feeling well. That's your spouse running around, making you a cup of tea, trying to get the necessary medications so that you are okay. Some of you will have some spouses. You could be dying in that house. You better not, because they will not raise a finger to assist you. And this is where for years, some people live like this, where, and what is most confusing to me is if it is that you're married and you are in fact separated, your spouse is not in fact contributing to your whole economic viability. And what you will find is some people are hanging on because they know if you should pass away, they have, as a spouse, inheritance rights. Yeah. So they'll never divorce you because they're holding on to the possibility of what it is that they can accrue from you. And I've done divorces where People have been separated for years. And I had a client, he was terrified. They were separated for, I think, since the 90s. He's not supporting her. She actually, when she left him, she moved away. She bought a house. She moved to a different state. And she was very independent. But come 2020, here it is that we're filing a divorce, right? So you're talking people who have been separated for 20 odd years. And it was her claim. She wanted part of his retirement. She wanted maintenance. And I wanna wake some of you people up this morning who are entitled. Yeah? If it is that you are separated from your spouse, for you to approach the court that you want maintenance, it does not make sense. You have been self-supporting. Morning, Jackie from Dallas, Georgia. You have been self-supporting. So for you to come now with your suitcase, think that you're going to clear up, it doesn't make any sense. And I remember he was so terrified. He's like, Antoinette, I don't want to proceed. And I said, you've been separated for over 20 years, right? He got the job after she left. After she left, cause then just pack them back, then leave, then not care, them I left you. Yeah, when any woman who a left a man, some woman who understand what me I chat about. You not care, you take your things, you're leaving. Yeah? And some men will come home to an empty house. But then I'll never forget my client's wife said to me, let me tell you something, Antoinette. No woman, yeah, leaves a good man. Anyway, I'm not getting other people in business. So she packed up her things over 20 years. He got the job after contributing to his retirement system. And I said, have a little faith in me. I said, she's getting nothing. You've been separated for over 20 years. You got the job since the separation. Yeah. And you're therefore contributing to your retirement since the separation. I don't care that prior to her departure, you were together for 15 years. During the 15 years, nothing ever happened for you. After the woman left, this is what my brother would say, Lord Jesus, me do with that girl, me sad. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she come now and she was like, oh, she's making claims for maintenance. She is making claims for his retirement. And we're in court. And I said to the judge, this is ridiculous because they've not been together. He got the job after they were separated. That's when his contributions were. There's no economic partnership here. I'm sorry. She's been self-supporting. So where's the maintenance claim going? Yeah. And a judge looked at her attorney and he said, I agree with Ms. Osborne. Have you spoken to her about this? I will come back a few times. And because my client was a breadwinner, he just had to put some monies towards her legal bill. But it was, this is why I'm encouraging you. You're separated for years. Be careful what you're doing because marriage creates economic rights. And for those of you who are very entitled, yeah, it's not every marriage you're going to be able to reap. Because some of you are looking to reap what you have never sowed in a marriage. Let's get real. You have not contributed, you're separated, but you still want to reap. And when it is that you're married and your spouse during the separated period goes ahead and acquires property, you're now in a divorce thinking you're going to get an interest. Doesn't work like that. Yeah. So Amarilla says maybe he did not want her to get anything or very little because of their relationship. She is a bloodsucker, but a good man will leave a vampire. Yes, lad. Some people are just here, let's get real, for what they can get. And this is where I'm gonna encourage you. If you have been separated, yeah, I cannot, and for ladies who they this is something I could never understand, how some of you women get conned with this. Some of you are here, you're dating married men, unless you're there, like the thief in the night who comes really to rob and kill. I don't understand how you're expecting to build a future with a married man and you take every excuse in the book why it is that they are not leaving their wives, and you expect to build a foundation with these men. These men are not going to leave their wives for you. Yeah. And even when they do, how you get him is how you shall lose him. Because what you sow, you shall reap. So just be very careful how you live in your life out there. Yeah. Uh People have been separated for years, yet they will not divorce. So these are the people, I'll tell you, who will be afraid to divorce. Where during the marriage, he has acquired a substantial portion in his retirement. Are people with retirements over 700,000 in their retirement? But I had my client who had this money, he was done. Him not care. Him say, Antoinette, make sure go on. And I find oftentimes when the men are so willing to give, it's because, ladies, your replacement is waiting in the background. Yeah, man. Him said the better house, make sure take it. Because his kids were living there. House was valued a lot of money. Make sure go on. I said to myself, my God, this man is generous. So as soon as we sign off on the divorce agreement, we're not divorced yet. Him send me a message. Antoinette, I am ready to file a fiance visa. Yeah. So oftentimes when they're so willing to give is because your replacement is in the background. But as I had to tell him, and as I tell some of my male clients, because this only comes from my male clients, your divorce has to be completed, meaning the judge has to sign it. And even when the judge signs it, you're not divorced until the clerk enters it. Yeah. So me have to tell him, so this we have to, we have to hold on. You have to wait till the judgment come in. Yes. But when I find throughout my years of practicing, when the men are done and they are ready to move on with their life, they're at a point where the material things don't matter. And I have a client, and this is something I personally endorse. Peace of mind is priceless. You can't buy it. No matter how much money you have, if you are in a marriage, some people are in marriages and they are suffering. They truly understand the concept of what it is to be in a house with someone. And as you reach the door, it's like the weight of the world come on your shoulder. You don't even want to go in. So some people come to a point where in a marriage they don't care anymore. This is what is required, Antoinette. Make sure take it. I just want peace. You'd be surprised. On the flip side, I find the women are not so generous. Yeah, where the men often they'll just walk away, they don't care. Like, I have suffered for years. This, there's no getting better with her. Just divvy it up and let me go my way. The women are not so pleasant with you. And oftentimes they will fight you. Why? And this, even as a woman, I can't understand it. Them focus on your new girl because she absolutely don't want this girl to benefit in no shape or form. So it's like they're going to fight you till the death because it also delays you going ahead and marrying this girl. And I had a client, I'll never forget this. I was in Brooklyn family court. And anybody who got to family court, this, you can't find crowd more than family court. I mean, I sit down with my nice, good, clean client. Yeah? And the wife, we just see when the wife flip round and come in front of us. And in my head, me said, God, not today. Yeah, man. And right there in a Brooklyn family court, my girl decided she got shout out. Imagine you with my best friend. So you know the whole of Brooklyn family court I look now. Because this is a real scandal. Imagine you left me house to come got there with my best friend. And she start now, because that is the intro. So everybody now turn now, because this is excitement. They might wait for the in case called this is excitement. So now we now signal to the court officer. Yeah. You have to come over here, sir. Yeah. And the court officer have to send her to sit down, but the story never, because I saw she come as my client come. And you were with her brother before I was with her. And this happen in an island people life when they come to America. No, sir. Yeah. But what was amazing to me was the side woman who was the best friend in the divorce proceeding. Because oftentimes when the men are coming for their divorce, the new girlfriend will want to come because she have to ensure what is going on. Because she's now investing in this man where, she want to make sure the divorce will come through so our foundation can start. And we sit down in there and we go through the whole motion, right? Because she had no objection. And this is one of the few side women who were decent enough to ensure that the wife get her due. And she was like, make she get her maintenance, because they're married for over 30 years. Make she get her maintenance and make she get her retirement. He had absolutely no objection. But in marriages, it is an economic partnership. And you have to look at the fact that even if you are a housewife, your homemaking skills are such that it is contribution. So you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're taking care of the kids. That also gives an interest in the property. So when it is that God forbid, in a divorce proceedings, and there is a divvying up, the property is being divided, especially real estate, it is taken into account whether or not monies were used prior to marriage to make down payments, because the person who paid that gets credit for that in the divorce. Also taken into account is during the marriage, if you had, let's say, monies that you had before the marriage you used to renovate the property, then if that house gets sold, that separate monies you also get a credit for. So there are certain things that it's not all clear cut. There are certain rules that are followed. So I just don't want to believe that the fact that you got married to someone, you're just automatically entitled to certain property. It does not work like that. Yeah. So I'm going to encourage those of you who you have your real property, look at your deeds. If you are parents looking to put your children on, my recommendation is still retain a life interest so that you have some say over the property, and also for tax purposes, for you to get that enhanced star. This is a star credit for taxes, which is separate from the basic star. It gives a greater portion in terms of a reduction to your payment. All right, so it is now 10:04. I am going to end it so you can continue on with your Sunday, watch your deeds. I'm gonna encourage you, watch your retirement update. If you've gotten a divorce, go ahead, update your retirement plans concerning beneficiaries. If you have also gotten a divorce as well, go and update your will. For those of you who had a will prior to marriage, your marriage revokes your will. So it's as if you do not have a will. New York is such that you can't disinherit a spouse. You may want to disinherit them, but you can't. Yeah. They have what is called the spousal right of election, where they're entitled to 1/3 of your estate. So I just this whole me coming here Sunday mornings is to provide you with information so you can make informed decisions when dealing with your assets, or whether we cover evictions with landlord and tenant. It is to ensure that you can make informed decisions for the betterment of your family. All right, so I want to wish everybody a happy Sunday. I want to ensure stay blessed, be blessed, live good with your partner. You know, it's Sunday. I can't even tell you to take your kids out. They'd probably freeze like popsicles. But spend some quality time, yeah, with your family, and I'll see you next Sunday, God's willing. Okay, take care. Bye.